Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Code Tarot, where today we're going to be talking about all the cards astrologically connected to Gemini, the mutable air sign of the Zodiac. As you can see, we have all the cards laid out right here, and this is the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, the one we all know and love that many of the cards that we see today, the different tarot decks, are inspired by, because this is the first one that was ever created that has the minor arcana as illustrated, so you can really connect with it with your intuition. As we know, the Lovers is the major arcana card astrologically connected to Gemini. You can see there the different characters there looking up at the angel and the love that's in the picture. And then we have the Knight of Swords, which is the first two deacons, the Q card, yeah, the court card astrologically connected to the first two deacons of Gemini. So it's about May 21st, 20th, 21st to about June 10th, 11th. That's the energy of the Knight of Swords. And then getting closer to Cancer season is the Queen of Cups, who rules the third deacon about June 11th to about July 11th. So you have that energy as well. And then we have the minor arcana cards connected to it, with the first deacon, the Eight of Swords, the second deacon, the Nine of Swords, and the third deacon, the Ten of Swords. Now, Gemini is one of those, like I said, the mutable air sign of the Zodiac and the sign of the twins. So when it comes to confidence in oneself and confidence in one's mind, I always seem to believe that Geminis are at the top of that list. Like, they are very confident in themselves. A lot of the Geminis I have met in my life with that birthday between May 20th, 21st to about June 19th, 20th, they are narcissists a lot of times. They always put themselves first. I don't see anything wrong with that, and to a shorter degree, but when you're taking advantage of others and you're really not being fair and making others feel badly, that's not a good thing. But not all Geminis are like that, obviously. Ones that I have met in my life, like a boss I had back in the past, definitely a narcissist, definitely a Gemini, and definitely somebody I'm glad is no longer in my life. But we're not going to get into that, and I really wanted to point that out because while we do consider Geminis really confident in themselves and confident in their minds, the minor arcana cards here connected to them kind of suggest otherwise. But we're going to get a little bit more into that as I show you different illustrations of each card to kind of give you more of an idea of how these cards connect. So let's start with the Lovers up here and move our way forward. Now, when we think of the Lovers, like I said, astrology connected to Gemini, the sign of the twins, we always think, and that's what it shows right here, is the love we have with another soul. All three of these illustrations that I have definitely show that. And I'm disappointed, honestly, that out of all my decks, I have over 50 tarot decks at this point, that I don't have one that just shows like one person looking in a mirror or something like that, because the most important love that we can have in our lives, the most emotionally fulfilling, the one that just means the most to us and can give us the most strength and confidence in ourselves, is the love that we have for ourselves. RuPaul says it best in every single episode of RuPaul's Drag Race that I have ever seen. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell do you expect to love somebody else? And then he says, can I get an amen? That kind of, like, that's the most important energy of the Lovers to me. And really and truly, if you don't love yourself, then how is anybody else supposed to love you too? If you can't find the things to love about yourself, then why should anybody else love you? That's just the way I see it. But every illustration I have of the Lovers definitely depicts the same illustration here. You've got over here Deviant Moon Tarot, and I chose this card to share with you because of the snake down here in the bottom right hand corner. He's biting the leg of the man, in a deep embrace, like a deep lock of love there with his female. And he doesn't even seem to care or notice. And when you're passionately in love with someone, or even passionately in love with yourself, the pain that comes with life isn't as painful. It's not as overwhelming and stuff, because you feel like that confidence and that love for yourself. And even like, especially when you have somebody else to love you too, you have that like just focus on that love and nothing else really matters. And I've chosen the Lovers from the Starman Tarot as well, and it kind of has that kind of same energy there. You see all the bees and stuff around here as they're locked in a lover's embrace, like in their emotions, like deep in tune with it and stuff. And I love these illustrations of the Starman Tarot. They're a little bit more complicated when it comes to like intuitive thoughts about them, but the coloring of them, the illustration themselves, it's always absolutely gorgeous, and it gives us like different thoughts that we might not have had otherwise. Instead of the angel you see here, like bringing them together and their different like fruits and stuff, like combining to have that energy, here we have like two beings that seem to be the same person almost, like coming together to bring these people into one. So with the illustrations here, we had the man and the woman, the man and the woman, and the man and the woman over here, we'll get to in a second, kind of has that, does have that energy of the masculine and feminine, excuse me, masculine and feminine energies within ourselves that combine to make us feel whole and complete all on our own. So despite the fact that these illustrations do show two different souls, I guess they can be seen as one because they have that masculine and feminine energy coming together. And all these bees down here by their sacral chakras, or their their woman and masculine parts, like where they create life themselves, they have that energy, and it's like it doesn't matter that the bees are there. It shows like them combining their energy and becoming one and whole and being able to face whatever life throws at them. And then of course, if you're like me and you're a huge fan of Tim Burton, we all know who these two characters are. One of the most romantic relationships and loving relationships that we know throughout entertainment, and it's Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. And really, in the movie itself, they don't really spend that much time getting to know each other, but I mean, it's just kind of understood that they have each other. And so I really wanted to share this illustration because I know, excuse me, I dropped it. I know how much we love Nightmare Before Christmas, like how much of a great movie it is, and this is definitely a love that we all aspire to have in our lives. But again, when we think of the lovers and we think of Geminis, love yourself first. Put yourself first. Believe in yourself. Love the skin you're in, and others will love you too. We'll move from the lovers now. Stack all those cards up, get them out. And we'll move to the man or woman of the season, the soldier that is not afraid of chaos and will fly through whatever life throws at him. The different illustrations we see here like show different aspects of it. Some are looking towards the past, while others are looking forward. And this one isn't even to his bike yet, but he knows where he's going, he knows he has to face it, and he has the confidence to do so. So the Knight of Swords, as I mentioned, is astrologically connected to the third decan of Taurus. So it starts about May 11th, May 10th, and then it goes to about June 11th or June 10th. So we have that energy first, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll get to the Queen of Cups, which we'll just touch on because we have the Queen of Cups for the next season too. So the Knight of Swords, I've chosen the Modern Love Tarot here by Ethany, and I chose this illustration to kind of like it because it has the feminine energy to it, the feminine qualities there. And you see they're rising up here and facing whatever life there's in. The horse might be a little bit cautious because those animalistic instincts inside of us might be sharing the fear and the anxiety about what the future might hold. But nonetheless, they are facing towards the future. Whereas the Knight of Swords from the Rider-Waite Smith faces backwards, so he's kind of like facing the past, and whatever life threw at him then, he's taking the time to like look back at it and learn the lessons it has to teach him. So the Knight of Swords from the Modern Love Tarot, she's already looked at her past, she's learned the lessons, and she's able to move forward now, confident in herself and ready to face whatever life throws at her, because she trusts her mind. Like I said, this is the suit of the mind. It is the mutable air sign, so it relates to the mind, and it says like the pain of the past can't hold us back if we find the confidence to keep going. So it goes back to that energy of the lovers, where it's love yourself, believe in yourself, and don't let the past hold you back. There's that energy of the six connected to the lovers. So we have that self-reflection, taking the time to learn from the past so we know where we want to go moving forward. And then the Lepus Tarot, which is a beautiful deck. I love the illustrations in this deck. It's incredible. I always say this, and I'll definitely do this in this video too. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can purchase all these decks for your own collection if you're interested in doing that. With the Lepus Tarot here, you can see he's also moving forward. But what I like about this illustration is you see the light up here. It's like the chaos is going behind us. It's no longer a part of us, and we're able to free our minds and not let the pain of the past hold us back. We can find the light at the end of the tunnel and keep going. And that's what this knight really says. This soldier says, like, I don't let that pain hold me back. I trust my mind. I trust that I have what it takes to succeed. And I move forward no matter what chaos might find my way. So having that confidence to keep going, and again, loving yourself enough to believe in yourself, definitely gives you the power to overcome whatever life throws at you. And this soldier is unafraid of doing that. You can see that here too in the Knight of Swords from the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. He's not quite to his horse yet. His horse here, instead of the horses that we see here, is a motorcycle, and you think of that iron horse, like that's what they call it. So motorcycles are very much like the man's modern day horse. It's nice too because you're not putting like danger on an animal and not stressing them out. Just put gas in the thing and it'll get you where you need to go. But he's running towards that. He's got the raven up here showing like the trust in his mind and that trust in himself. Like there was darkness in him, there was darkness in his past, but that darkness and the pain of the past gives him the confidence he needs to get behind the wheel right here, get on that bike and drive himself to where he wants to be. So the Knight of Swords is the soldier that is unafraid of chaos, that goes after his dreams and is ready for whatever life throws at him. So that energy of the season connecting to now, if life is stressing you out and you feel like you can't move forward, love yourself and believe that you have what it takes, trusting your mind to get you to where you want to be. So we'll close all these clairs up and we'll move on to the queen of the season that hits us about June 11th to about July 11th. Now, the Queen of Cups, the feminine leader of the suit of emotional happiness and fulfillment, definitely knows how to let love lead her in life. She's often considered the mother archetype of the Zodiac, so there is that energy of putting others first, which we haven't really spoke about with Gemini. But when you love yourself enough to like find the confidence to keep going and find the confidence to believe in yourself, you begin letting love lead your way forward and love others as well. So we have these illustrations here connected to the Queen of Cups up here. And I've chosen the Tarot of the New Vision for this because I love the illustration in this. Very similar to the queen we see right here, but it's the reverse image of it, like what you don't see in the illustration from seeing from the back. And what I really like about this is the owl that shows on the back of her throne that's carved in there. And that shows the wise intelligence that this queen has because she lets her heart lead her way forward. And in these illustrations, well, at least this one, and this one, you can see like their focus is very much on that cup in their hands. They know what makes their heart sing, they know what makes their soul sing, and they're really focused on that. So we do have that energy of like the Queen of Cups, real astrologically connected to Cancer more than this sign of Gemini, and how much they love others and put others before themselves. But with the energy of Gemini connected to it too, it's like it's a message from our guides that we can love ourselves too, and we can put ourselves first and focus on what we love. Because when love is in our hearts, like focused on that, like we are more wise, we're more intelligent, and we're more in tune with life in general, and we can be there for others more. The second illustration I have of the Queen of Cups is from the Dark Mansion Tarot. And honestly, I chose this one just because of how pretty she is. That's the thing about the Dark Mansion Tarot. It is one of the most beautiful decks in my collection. I love the illustrations. It's just so beautiful. It just shows the beauty that is the Queen of Cups. Now, what I'd like to notice about this illustration is while she does seem to be looking at her cup in her hand, she also seems to be looking out in life in general. But she is looking back as well. If she weren't, and like you can see the illustration here, definitely looking forward. This illustration, she's looking backwards, but this one seems to be looking like she's looking in the past too. And that, you know, taking the time to look at our past and love ourselves despite the pain in our past, because we can't control what happens to us, but we can control our emotions in the present and find a way to love ourselves today, forgiving who we were in the past, because we're not those people anymore. So she kind of has this look of happiness on her face. Maybe she's thinking, well, I might not have been a great person in the past. I might have had some painful memories or painful experiences, but I do love who I am today, and I'm able to learn from that past and create a life that I live in the present, really lead a life that I live in the present. And then we have the Queen of Cups from the Zombie Tarot, and this is one of the most entertaining decks in my collection. I need to do like a flip through of it so I can show it to you sometime. That might be coming up soon. What I love about this illustration, other than the fact that it's just so cute and so adorable, is the focus right here on her eating the brain. Now, the brain relates to the mind, which is the suit of air, which is connecting us to Gemini, and it's kind of taking a bite out of that mind, saying, I'm going to let my heart have more of a say than necessarily letting my mind have a say, and really love myself and look forward to the past. Or look forward to the past, that makes a lot of sense. But look forward to the future because I've learned from the past. But this illustration, instead of looking forward or looking back like these two, she looks directly at us as if to say, are you going to let your mind hold you back forever? Or are you going to love yourself enough to let your heart lead your way forward? And that's the energy of the Queen of Cups. Love yourself, love others, and let love be your way forward. When you let love be your way forward, the world becomes a more beautiful place for all. So we'll put the Queen of Cups aside, and we'll move on to the three deacons that represent Gemini season. The Eight of Swords is astrologically connected to the first decan of Gemini, so it's up first, and it's about May 20th, 21st to about May 31st. So that's the first decan, and we have all the illustrations here. The Rider Waite Smith shows definitely the energy of the Eight of Swords. She's got the blindfold on, she's got the ropes around her, and she's out here away from the castle, just by herself, so there's no guards keeping her prisoner. This is the card that I like to call the prisoner of my own mind. You know, you're trapped in your own thoughts, you're trapped by your own inner demons, and you can't find your way forward. With that energy of the eight, it does relate to success and wealth, but if you're constantly doubting yourself and not believing in your own worth, then you're not able to find that success and wealth. And all three of these illustrations, I feel, really embrace that energy and show like there's no one else around, there's no one keeping you prisoner, and you're free to move forward when you find the confidence to like free yourself from that prison of your mind. Up first, we have the Mystical Medleys Tarot, and you can see the illustration here, like the ladybug has her little slumber mask on, like her sleep mask, and she's doesn't seem to care that she's like out here and she's not able to move forward. She's in her little cocoon, she's taking the time to really rest and reflect before she moves forward. When she wants to be free, she can easily like break her wings free and move forward because no swords are causing her problems. Like she's able just to stand up and walk away. And then we have the Healing Light Tarot, which this card, and I should have said this earlier, but Eight of Swords was my stalker card when I first started reading the tarot. Every single time I do a reading for myself, every single time someone else would do a reading for me, the Eight of Swords would appear because I am definitely someone that lets my mind tell me I can't do something, tell me why it's not a good idea, and keep me a prisoner. So this light, dropped it again. This particular illustration, the Healing Light Tarot by Christopher Butler, first deck in my collection, I did a video on that a while back, shows the spider web there and like trapped in it. But again, she can free herself. Those swords are behind her. She can rise above this and free herself from the prison of her mind to find the success and wealth she deserves. So this energy connecting to Gemini kind of gets like, it makes me, kind of appreciate Geminis more because why they are the most confident people I've ever met, the sign of the twins, trusting that mind in their hearts and really believing in themselves. They also have those inner demons that want to keep them prisoner. You can like that's what this illustration kind of suggests to me. Like the spider web there is no spider keeping. Like there's no illustration here. Like no picture of the spider itself keeping her there. She's just made her own web of doubt that she needs to free herself from. And then we have the Grimalkin's Curious Cats Tarot, and MJ Colonnane, I apologize if I pronounced your name incorrectly. She is one of the most incredible artists I've ever seen. Like, this cat looks so real. I love this illustration. And this also looks sort of like my cat and my cat Luna that passed away last year. With the illustration here, why I've chosen it, kind of shows like this cat is able to move forward. Those swords, represent the mind. They're not necessarily there, but it's the cat's mind saying, "I cannot go into this water that is keeping it prisoner." And if it was able to just like say, "I deal with the water then and deal with the rain," it would be able to move forward and perhaps find that success and wealth of the eight. Now, my cat Dash, you've met her before. I've shown pictures and stuff of her before. I found her in a rainstorm in the middle of the road getting straddled by cars. I mean, it was pouring down the rain, and that did not stop this cat from moving forward. She knew what she wanted, she trusted her mind, and she found success, not necessarily wealth because she's a cat, but she found success because she found this happy life because she was willing to try, willing to go after her dreams. So the energy of the Eight of Swords kind of like says, no one's stopping you. No one's keeping you a prisoner but you. So trust yourself, free yourself from the prison of your mind, and move forward. We'll set these aside and move forward to the Nine of Swords, which is astrologically connected to the second decan of Gemini, about June 1st to June 10th. And this is the card of being not only a prisoner to our own minds, but those inner demons that are causing us to be prisoners are also causing us to lie awake at night and worry about everything, anxiety and stuff, keeping us from getting a good night's sleep. And you can see that in this illustration here, sitting up, not getting the sleep they need because they're worrying about what the future might hold. And I've chosen the Shadowland Tarot here, which is an interesting choice because this is the suit of the mind, but the character here definitely suggests that he has something to fear. If you had that hanging above your head as you're trying to sleep with all those little spiders coming down, yeah, I seriously doubt you'd be able to get a good night's sleep. But I personally like spiders. I feel like with insects in general and stuff, they don't necessarily want to hurt you. If you put them in danger or cause them to feel fear, then they're going to lash out and hurt you. But like this illustration doesn't necessarily connect with the suit of the mind necessarily, but it's like as if a suggestion not to let the thoughts of the spiders that probably are in your house somewhere lurking underneath, don't let those keep you up at night, and don't let fear keep you from going after your dreams. We don't know what the future is going to hold, but when we have that confidence that the Nine of Swords suggested, that whatever chaos comes our way, we have what it takes to overcome it, then we can overcome even the thought of spiders in our rooms and be able to get that good night's sleep we deserve. The Trionfi Della Luna illustrated pips by Patrick Valenza is the illustration I have next with this Nine of Swords. And all the swords up here over his head definitely gives that suggestion and that energy that it is our minds often that keep us from moving forward and keep us from being able to find the success that we deserve. With the energy of the 9 connected to this, it kind of connects to the energy of all the numbers that have connected before it in the Hermit of the Major Arcana. So it's like a message from our guides to take the time to look within, find what's really bothering us, and free ourselves from the prisons of our minds so we can get that good night's sleep and keep going. He looks all sad and devastated. All these swords are here, but again, like with the 8 of Swords, there's no one holding him prisoner and no one keeping him from moving forward. He just has to free himself from that, get the good night's sleep, and learn from the past in order to find the confidence to move forward. And last but not least, we have the Pulp Tarot right here. And there's a particular reason I chose this illustration, because it's very similar to this one and this one, but one thing sticks out to me that I really enjoy. You look up here in this part right here. I don't know if you can see it all that well, but it seems very much to me like the illustration from the 5 of Swords in the Major Arcana now, in the Rider-Waite-Smith Minor Arcana, as it shows the character that has taken advantage of someone, taken all the swords, which might lead us to doubting ourselves in the present and keeping us awake at night because we've been hurt in the past. Yes, this is the suit of the mind, and Gemini is the sign most confident, like I've said, the sign of the twins. But the reason our minds might be working against us, causing us to fear the future, is because someone might have taken advantage of us in the past. Again, that goes back to that 9 contains the energy of all the numbers that have come before it, meaning that we can learn from that past and begin trusting ourselves more. If there wasn't rain and storms, we wouldn't see rainbows. Just like if there wasn't pain and destruction and devastation in our lives and we hadn't experienced it, we wouldn't know how to overcome things that we find moving forward. Because life isn't always sunshine and rainbows, but we can't let the fear of the future, because what we've experienced in the past, keep us from moving forward and just leave us prisoners of our own minds, unable to even get the sleep that we deserve because our inner demons are telling us we can't move forward. So as we move forward with the sign of Gemini and the energy connected to it, definitely not necessarily that positive, kind of shows that even Geminis, as confident as they seem to be, everyone sometimes gets those inner demons that want to hold us back and keep us awake at night, just not knowing how to move forward. We'll set these aside and we'll move to the final deacon of Gemini, the 10 of Swords. Definitely not a positive card, because this is the card that everybody calls the lay down and die card, because our minds are just overwhelming us. The 10 of Swords, like I said, it represents the 3rd deacon of Gemini, about June 10th, June 11th to about June 20th, until Cancer season starts. And as I said, this is the lie down and die card. It's the card of wanting to give up, throw in the towel, and not get up, just not move forward. You can see it here in the illustration of the Rider-Waite-Smith 10 of Swords. He's got all those swords in his back. He's got the red blanket there, which can be shown like anger, destruction, passion, stuff like that. But it also, like I said, the color of passion too. What's the pain that he's experienced in the past, what's caused his mind to work against him and make him want to give up, it's behind him now. He's able to move himself forward. The swords, represent the mind. They're not necessarily in his back. New beginnings await if he's able to move forward. And you can see here the water's calm, suggesting that whatever occurred that caused him to want to feel this way is gone now, and he can learn from it. And then you can see the clouds up here, the black, the darkness is going away, and you can see the creativity color of the yellow right here, showing that the future is what he chooses to create when he's able to learn from the past and free himself from that prison of his mind and get up and keep going. Now I've chosen the illustration from the Everyday Witch Tarot right here because it kind of suggests like that energy of the 9 of Swords we just met, with that 5 of Swords being in the background, that it might be somebody else that caused us to feel that feeling of wanting to give up, throw in the towel, and not keep going. But you can see the confidence here, the belief here she has in herself. She's reaching for her broom. She's not going to let this keep her down. And we have that same mindset when we find the confidence to keep going, that even if someone hurt us in the past, have taken advantage of us and caused us to just want to give up, we can't let that keep us down, because when we do, that means they win. They're not going to even probably think about it moving forward, so why should we let them hold us back? And so that energy kind of shows here at the beginnings, like the sun's setting right here, so this pain is going away, or the sun's rising. You know, this might be morning, showing that energy of a new day is dawning, when she's able to get these swords out of her back, get those negative thoughts out of her mind, and keep going. Because 10 relates very much to endings, but it also relates to beginnings, because it relates to the Wheel of Fortune of the Major Arcana, and shows, you know, when we take a chance on ourselves, leaving the past behind and spin the wheel, the future can be whatever we want it to be. And that's kind of shown here. She's reaching for it. She's not really giving up. And when she is able to reach it and get those swords out of her back, the doubting thoughts in her mind, she can begin making the next chapter of her story what she really wants it to be. And this illustration is from the Phantom Wise Tarot, and I've chosen it because it's kind of like the black and white energy, and shows that touches of gray, like life isn't always perfect, life isn't always pretty. But this illustration shows that the swords aren't even in her body, she's laying in front of them, so she's not as much at fault, like stuck, as the characters that we see around it. It kind of shows if she's just able to learn from where she's been, take those lessons, and believe she has what it takes to begin the next chapter, then she can just stand up, she can keep going, and she can make that next new chapter what she wants it to be, learning from where she's been. So the 10 kind of shows the negative energy, showing how much our minds can work against us, but it has that silver lining there, which you can kind of see here with the everything is fine energy of the 10 of Swords. That once we're able to believe that everything is fine in the present, we can move forward and make our futures what we want it to be. Now these are the same card, but one says 10 of Swords and one says everything is fine. And what I really like about this illustration, it's from the Modern Witch Tarot, which is a really awesome deck, very similar to that of the Rider-Waite Smith. The fact that she's holding her phone here and looking at that kind of suggests a lot of times what our problem in society today might be. We're not able to move forward, we're not able to forgive the past, and we're not able to take the time to reflect on it and learn from it if we're constantly distracted by social media and the things that we see on television. And that is suggested in this illustration here, and it's everything is fine because I'm just paying attention to my phone. I don't need to face my own stuff, I don't need to face my problems, and I don't need to move forward because I'm just happy and content in this painful process that is my mind right now. And a lot of times when it comes to like the energy of the 10 of Swords and wanting to lie down and die and not continue, I am definitely I have a problem with this as well. I'm a culprit of it too. Looking on your phone, seeing all the things going wrong with the world, and just once you see it, it's like, what's the point of keep going? Like, the world's just a dark place. I don't want to continue. I don't see the light. And those inner voices, that's what can keep us down, because our minds are so focused on what we see around us that we're not able to face our own truths and find the confidence to keep going. So there is that negative energy connected to Gemini season, where everybody puts themselves first. They only focus on their own happiness and their own desires and stuff like that. And that can leave us, like, you know, if we're more focused on the happiness of others and like wanting to please others and stuff like that, then we're not able to see the worth in ourselves and not able to love ourselves, which doesn't give us the power to move forward and keep going. Every single one of these illustrations, while negative, with swords stabbed in people's backs, except for this one there in front of her there, she can easily stand up. At least that's how I see it. When we're able to stop seeing ourselves as prisoners trapped in our minds, able to free ourselves from our inner demons and get that good night's sleep, we're able to pick ourselves back up and keep going. And I feel like that's what the energy of Gemini season is all about. Don't let our minds work overtime against us, but rather trust those thoughts in our minds, make friends with our demons, and have the confidence to stand up, put down those phones, and really get up, spin the wheel, and find the confidence to begin the next chapter of our stories. When we learn from the past, really embrace that inner soldier. Decided to switch cards there, sorry. When we embrace our inner soldiers and soldier on, like, I'm not going to let the past hold me back anymore, we can focus then on what we love to do and love who we are, so we can find love for others and love for life again. So as Gemini season moves forward at the time of this making this video, or even if it's not Gemini season, love yourself, soldier on no matter what life throws at you, and believe that you have the power to create the life that you truly love and enjoy. Speaking of enjoying, I hope that you enjoyed this video. As I said, I will leave a link in the description below of where you can find all these cards for your own collection if that's something you want to do. All these cards, all these decks that I have, they're always available for personal readings, whichever one calls to you. And feel free to comment on this video, send me a message on any of the socials, or book up a reading directly on my website. All of that information will be down below as well. I really want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.